Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today, we delve ever deeper into Winterscale's territory, seeking perhaps to grant us some small amount of reprieve to his beleaguered citizens. But, let's not get carried away here. We all have some degree of elf interest in everything we do, so, obviously we'll also exploit any opportunities as they arise. I see it as charging for unsolicited services rendered. We're happy to step in and keep Winterscale's realm running, but he's still going to have to cover our costs. And right off the bat, I'm noticing a distinct lack of distress calls or Drukhari ships. Though we do have an Imperial vessel over there, which is peculiar. Pass. Might be unrelated, but this does seem like a peculiar setup. Hey, okay. A not at all suspicious stash of assorted illegal chemicals. Oh, we even got a new rumor. Who left this here? I mean, logic would dictate it's either Drukhari or these guys. An unknown ship hails you as soon as you are in its detection range. The ship, the Scarlet Pursuer, helmed by Captain Demir Shani, has Footfall listed as its home port. The message hints transparently at a connection with the Kaspelika mission. The Voxmaster adds that the captain has a proposal for you. I mean, yeah, sure, of course, what's up? The ship lets you know they will readily reward you for any information about burning worlds in the Coronis Expanse. Interesting. Any particular reason for this burning desire? The reply is as courteous as it is vague. The captain cites a scholarly curiosity in this understudied type of world. Upon hearing the message, Magos Pascal expresses a keen interest in burning worlds and asks the Lord Captain to take the issue into consideration. Jai Haydari immediately declares that Captain Shani would never dash about the void out of scholarly curiosity, but only for a suitably high return. In that case, perhaps the Lord Captain, too, might want to look into these burning worlds. Seneschal Wersurian makes no comment regarding the Kaspelika message, but is amazed that, for once, the esteemed Magos and Mistress Haydari are in passionate agreement on something. Right. So, I mean, obviously they're looking for something in particular, and given that they're Kaspelika, that would imply Xenos artifacts. I've never really paid much mind to burning worlds before. I mean, why would I? They're burning. But I will now. I'll let you know if I find anything. You receive the Scarlet Pursuer's projected itinerary. Information on systems in which you can find it later. The captain looks forward to meeting you again, and acquiring information on burning worlds, should you possess it. Sure, yeah, we'll get right on that. Once we've got a slightly better idea of what you're actually looking for. Alright, well, let's see what's going on with Grantis. Still noticing a distinct lack of any actual distress call or Drukhari presence. I mean, we're investigating it either way, so. The planet is laced with pulsating... thanks, Sidira. Okay, so landing site and a very small amount of xenotech, but it is a rare good, so we'll go ahead and grab that. And let me see what Adira said. The planet is laced with pulsating veins, strands woven from pain, but what are they? An oddity of the past? Or a warning from the future? Well, I mean, if Drukhari are anywhere near this, I'm going to say current events. Alright, well that's just Janus. You can't fool me, loading screen. Nothing immediately around our ship. No screaming, no corpses, no gunfire. Though we do have an athletics check just above us. Delightful fluorescent hummingbirds. So much pain in the air. So much pointless, hollow suffering around us. The body is lying face down, its crooked fingers clinging to the ground. This woman had her spine broken. Then she was allowed to crawl in the vain hope of escape. The dead noblewoman is staring at the sky with unblinking eyes. Her fingers have been thoroughly broken, and a tangle of intestines lies atop her slashed abdomen. Alright, yeah, I think we can pretty safely say it's Drukhari now. Pointless, hollow suffering is kind of their whole thing. Someone split the man's thorax open and turned his ribs inside out. Yuck, uncaged.
The imprint of torment and fatigue has been left upon this world. The mark of my dark cousins is so stark, it cannot be anything but a trap.
Yeah, you picked up on that too, huh? The corpse is missing its eyes, nose, and lips. Judging by the maimed mouth, the teeth and tongue were also torn out before death. Drukhari are fucking gross, man. I know we've got a Drukhari companion we're supposed to meet at some point, but my goodness, I just don't see a situation where Valen would ever put up with these guys. I do hate skipping story content, especially companion content, but you know, it's like the Vex and Camellia situation over in Wrath. At a certain point, I have to draw the line.
Is there money to be made?
The face and hands are twisted in a paroxysm of death throes. The victim's last moments were full of torment. Like, Camellia at least started with plausible deniability. That would not be the case for any Drukhari we happen to encounter.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
Okay. Very minor jewelry cargo. We'll take it. And there we go. That is slightly better. No full stacks, but still some high-value stuff. Ah, yes, and very obvious battlefield clutter. I'm glad we just watched that happen.
At last. You took your time coming to meet me, monkey.
Ooh, you talk. The Xenos in ornate black armor turns his head to you. His thin, pale face is covered in tattoos and blood spatters. After a moment, his thin lips stretch into a crooked, unpleasant smile. A couple of seconds pass before you realize that the Elucidator is silent. The Xenos is addressing you in low Gothic.
Hold your foul tongue, abomination! Such filth will not use that tone with the Emperor's chosen.
Abelard is white with fury.
Why, I sent an invitation by way of the cattle that dwelt on this world, and the chosen has so obediently appeared. How are my words anything but the truth?
The Xenos tilts his head to one side.
One of my soft-bodied kin. What meager offering tempted you to lower yourself to attending these animals? Or does their company remind you of being among your lost brothers and sisters?
He turns to Yurliet in a snake-like motion.
What do you know about my brothers and sisters, Dark One?
Yurliet freezes. Only her wide eyes betray her dismay and anger.
Only that they wander blind and helpless, robbed of their home and hope. But why am I telling you this? Isn't it your duty to watch over your kin, outcast?
I remember you. You're one of the Xenos that fled from me back on Viabos 6. I still owe you for that. Don't suppose your friends are here too?
You ruined the reception that our poor little Tazara had worked so hard to arrange. Now it is the succubus's dream to drag you to Gamora and have her way with you. What a terrible disappointment it would be for her if something were to happen to you before then. But we should not get ahead of ourselves, yes? First, monkey, allow me to get a good look at you.
Sure, knock yourself out.
There is deplorably little to distinguish you from the rest of your dull-witted species. And yet, monkey, and yet you are different. After all, you are from the caste of their rulers, are you not? Rogue trader. That is what they call you. Well then, rogue trader, since you nevertheless deigned to come to this meeting, tell me your little secret.
The Xenos pauses and raises his chin slightly, examining you.
How is it that out of all of your kind, you're the only one to discover our feasts in advance? Usually you're all so slow and sluggish that my kin have always enough time to leave the battlefield before aid arrives. But still, time and time again, your dogs have been there to stand in the Cabal's way.
He pauses, waiting for your answer. Yeah, I get that. It's gotta be frustrating, constantly underestimating your deadliest foe.
You think too highly of your deeds, however insignificant they may be.
You know what? You're absolutely right. You just go on and keep underestimating me. It's bound to start working out any time now.
And? That's it? Just an assertion that your kind are not as brainless as you appear to be? This answer does not satisfy me. I will tell you this, monkey. I know you might be lying to me, or you might even be unaware of who is guiding your hand. In any case, I have grown quite tired of your attempts to delay the inevitable. Surely you too have run yourself ragged, chasing us between the stars. Let us put an end to this. Finish this standoff. My forces against yours, once and for all.
The Xenos speaks with an unmistakable tone of weary boredom. But then he pauses, as if mulling something.
You wander among the stars, so you must know of this place. An ancient reach, where the echo of stellar agony rings still. A place that serves as a graveyard for old stars, still filled with residual emissions and glittering dust. The place that buried your wreck, stuffed full of delicious, frightened monkey, and the horrors that devoured them. The threshold of our domain. Your kind call it the Cinerus Maleficum. That is where our disputes will be settled. The cabal of the Reaving Tempest will be waiting for you, monkey. Do not come unarmed.
Honestly, buddy, I legitimately cannot tell if you're threatening me or hitting on me. Knowing Dark Elves, I'm gonna guess both? Hey, you mind if I ask you some questions real quick before you're too dead to answer? The Xenos lowers his head pensively, but what catches your attention is something else. A barely noticeable twitch of his fingers in his armored gauntlet. He is signaling to someone standing behind you.
Very well. Amuse me.
Tell me this. Are you and your cabal of the Reaving Tempest the ones going around stealing suns?
Stealing the sun? The Drakari are capable of that and much more, monkey. Gamora bathes in the light of 3 stars stolen by my kin. But if you think I had a hand in this or any other theft of suns, you are mistaken.
Honestly, I don't think he thinks enough of us to bother lying about that, so probably true. What about whoever you work for? I mean, you obviously aren't the one in charge. Who's the one pulling your strings?
Mistress of the Cabal, whose hunting grounds lie in this region of real space. It was she who ordered her subjects to gut monkey worlds in order to replenish the supply of meat in the cages of her arenas. I suppose I should not have expected anything compelling from a monkey. Your questions breed boredom. The conversation is over.
Yeah, fair enough. Sounds like I need to find this mistress of yours for real answers. Guess that means you've outlived your usefulness. Ah, you absolute coward. But fine, I knew that was coming. Yeah, I recognize him now. I've seen the pictures, I've heard the name. And, okay, so no one actually behind us, just the one on our flank. I think I do actually kind of remember this from, yeah, from Alpha. I remember these guys for sure. Aw, you cutie. See, I don't feel bad about killing the Drakari, companion or otherwise, because they're two-dimensional villains. But that guy looks pretty cool. I mean, at least the Snake Man's got an excuse for being cold-blooded. That is actually one thing I do find to be a bit of a bummer with this game. While I have generally tried to avoid spoilers for Act 3 and onward, I have pretty definitively been told that we never get anything more exotic than Eldari or Drakari as far as non-human companions go. And that honestly feels like a pretty huge missed opportunity. I mean, even if you ignore the more exotic options like Kroot or the Slith over there, you know, you've still got some other potentially interesting options like squats or Ogren, rattling snipers, full-on cybernetic gladiatorial pit fighters. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm generally pretty happy with the spread they gave us, you know, some more than others. And even some of the characters I'm not using are ones I do find interesting. They just didn't slot into our particular crew. It is just consistently surprising that given the often exotic retinues of a rogue trader, they would keep it so tame for what is otherwise such a high-effort CRPG, you know? You'd feel like they'd really want to play up a more diverse, colorful cross-section for their first outing into a full-on CRPG. Anyway, I'm going to kill these guys real quick. Shouldn't take too long. Though I am realizing now I actually forgot to equip that new spirit Drake. I'll have to remember that for next time.
Let me educate you on the art of pain.
I was kind of on the fence about it, but then I remembered that we have that talent that debuffs all the enemies on the field for every 6 powers that Adira uses. And with the Spirit Drake, we could fire off 6 powers on turn 1. Oh, so close. DOT should hopefully drop him. Alright, let's get pass tack going. Then we'll get this choke pointed. We'll use this guy here as cover. Hopefully they'll pump a few shots into him, trying to get it past.
Woe to you!
Task off to a good start.
Pain is all. I am a prey taker. Your suffering will sustain me.
Oh wow, they're actually carving us up a little faster than I hoped. But that guy's out. Let's start whittling. We'll just start trimming all the ones down center.
This tedium is beneath me.
Your last stroke of luck.
You will not withstand my vengeance!
That's nice.
My revenge will be delectable.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's not great. No worries, we'll get that patched. Long as Abby's on his feet, he can still do his job.
do my duty.
Glad to hear it, bud. Duty all over these guys. Balance up. Let's do some damage. Yeah, gotta clear our flank.
You call this a strike?
Cover's gonna block our follow-up.
This in blood.
Hemorrhage on Incubus. Abby propped up. Task too far. That works. Nice. Plus DOTs. Though as aforementioned, DOTs are definitely less useful now that they tick at the bottom of the round instead of top. Prop up Abby, prep for pull.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Woe to you!
You will not withstand
Whoa,
my vengeance.
Guys? Guys? Okay, well, I'll catch you later. Thank goodness that this guy ran by Valen. He kicked him in the ankle and tripped him up. That's the new keep your distance talent we just picked up. Take him out.
At your beck and call.
Oof. Now that's some real Pulp Fiction. Let's keep things going with Pask. Pass that, kill zone, the usual. Not too worried about him.
Messiah condemns you.
Let them tremble.
Got one back on our flank, but at this point, Abby's tough enough to take it.
Your last stroke of luck. vanquished.
Oh my.
Your misery is my treat.
That's fine. We're pretty much done. We've only got like 5 left on the field. 6 if you count the guy who took it to the edge. I'm kind of hoping we can take that guy out with Bleed Over so we won't have to actually hunt him down. But he's so far out, I don't think we'll actually reach him with it.
It will be done.
You will not withstand my vengeance!
Blank clear. Again. Nah, that guy's already incubusted. We'll focus down heavier targets. Forewarned is forearmed. Sorry, pass. He's fine. Incubus out. Spillover went into... well, not the guy who ran. He's still all the way over there. Oh, Cabalite Blade Master. Okay, so... This one on Pascal. Yeah, we'll probably have to run the other guy down. I'll just trim that part. No big deal.
If I must. I am not your Xenos pet monkey.
You will pay for this in blood.
Pay with your blood in the name of Kael.
Oh, nice. And you know, that is not what I was going for, but I will absolutely take it. Time to scale things back. Oh, still standing. And the warrior's got a DOT. So you know what? We could just wait for him to explode. Oh boy.
I feel...
Sibberong, Sibberited. Which just leaves this guy and the one having a meltdown over in the corner. Oh, such a waste. But alas, 'twas not to scale. Alright, one sec. Hey, we're back. The last one had to go now. His planet needed him.
Let us not dawdle.
Let's see what we got.
Monkey must know no fear or reason at all, for they permit those entwined with the great enemy in their midst.
Would you look at that? A Xenos siding with Imperium doctrine. I've heard it all now.
Aw, you guys are best friends now. That's adorable. A pile of mutilated bodies with cut tendons and shattered bones. Oh, and you know what? We might actually pull enough Xeno artifacts on this run to finally get those Kaspalikan projects started. I'll have to double check that off screen. I want to say we're like 2,000 or 3,000 short. But we do have other cargo banked. That'll be for between episodes. It looks like this warden died before he could even raise his weapon. Honestly, probably makes him the luckiest guy here. The dead warden is pinned to the ground with a blade of their own broken dagger. It was plunged right under their chin to ensure that the victim slowly choked to death. Yeah, that's pretty hard to swallow. The governor's body was masterfully disemboweled. His many implants were removed. After which, judging by the amount of blood, the victim lived for a while longer. Embroidered cloak, +5 persuasion. Whenever the wearer is affected by an ally's ability, +3% dodge until end of combat stacks. That's not terrible. What do we have on casts right now? Xenopelt cloak. +10 coercion. I mean, the dodge bonus would be nice, but I feel like the skill bonus is more important. Ooh, plus this athletics check. Ah, shortcut back out. Fair enough. Hey guys, thanks for keeping the shuttle secure. And I think we're done. Though I should do one more pass. Let me take care of that, and then we'll round things out with a level up. Be right back. And we are back. And as per usual, level up's pretty straightforward, but, also simultaneously a little all over the place. That said, let's run through it real quick. First up, Valen pulls a talent and a common talent. So for his common talent, we'll do what I mentioned last time, and start focusing on boosting our skills. We've already done Xenos lore, so we'll start it on logic. Then for our full talent, we'll take something a bit more offensive with Killing Spree. That one grants a modest but stacking +6% damage bonus every time we hit an opening, which for Valen is pretty much guaranteed once per round since we have that other ability that lets him create new openings. And in Cass's case, we're going to go ahead and grab Threads and Faults. That's a modest crit boost against anyone she affects with her abilities, which I'm hoping counts the forced moves. They do have a resistance test, so in theory it should. And then of course that also comes with all the other usual bonuses, +1 fellowship, extra health, etc. And for our characteristic boost, no real question there. We'll drop it into perception. We've already capped fellowship and willpower, and she has no real use for intelligence, which does feel weird, but you know, it's just your classic oddity of a combat-focused CRPG rule set. For Yurliette, she definitely pulled the short straw. She only gets a full talent. And we are going for heightened concentration, since she does seem to be particularly struggling with enemy armor at the moment. This should hopefully help take the edge off there, but we'll see how it works out in actual practice. As for Abby, no real question there. He is well on his way to becoming the ultimate taunting tank, so we'll take the ability literally called Taunting Defense. That's extra parry versus any enemies he's currently taunting. Then we've got Pask, and both he and Adira, again, get a full talent plus a characteristic boost. But in his case, we are going to go slightly off my original script, because I was going to start leaning him into more combat stuff, start filling out his special tech priest list, but based on what I said last time around, I feel like we really do need to keep stacking those skills, and he in particular has had some surprisingly tough checks. So yeah, given the prevalence of it, I think we need to start building up tech use. That extra reroll at advanced really is a game changer when it comes to those tougher checks. As for his characteristic, we've already capped intelligence, so I guess we'll go weapon skill. As we saw, he is still struggling a bit against particularly dodgy foes. And then we've got Adira. And, you know, although there are some psychic powers I do feel like we should still take, like the heal crit, I think we will actually go ahead and get her started on skill training warp lore. It'll be a while before she can actually master it, but I think it is important to bank that +7 now, because we're about to swap out that +10 warp lore book we have her equipped with. So that'll make for a net loss of -3. And we will go ahead and get that Spirit Drape equipped, before I forget about it again. That'll be a big boost on round 1 of every fight moving forward. But as always, we'll see how that actually plays out in practice. There are so many abilities in this game that don't interact the ways you expect them to. Anyway, let's pop back out to orbit, see if we trigger anything else. No, seems clear here. And seems clear out here as well. So, where did Marazai say he would be waiting for us? There it is. Cineris Maleficum. Wow, that's way out there. Well, actually, not that far out. That's just a few... Yeah, that's just 2 jumps north of Dargonis. Interesting. Okay, yeah, we can work with that. Though we do still have this stuff over here as well, which is annoying. That's it. Yeah, this feels like a good place to call it, since I do need to put some thought towards our next move here. And I need to swing by Danrock. See if we did, in fact, bank enough new cargo to get those new Caspalican projects going. Though I think we are still 1,000 or so shy. We didn't actually pull all that much off Marazai's mob. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, figure out our next move. And yeah, we will pick up here next time. Not entirely sure what we're going to do just yet, but we'll figure something out. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, CrowkingLoR, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Do not come unarmed.